Hey everybody, today's video is going to be on recommended reading. Okay, this question comes to us from one of our viewers. As pointed out, Jedi Living does have a reading list that is a part of our Academy program. You can find that list in the description below, or you can go to our Academy program and check it out. Either way, it's important to note that that reading list, even though it is required, doesn't make one a Jedi. Those books aren't necessarily Jedi books. They are designed to educate and open a Jedi to different ideas in the world, to get them to think critically about what they are reading and how that corresponds with themselves, their beliefs, as well as the Jedi ideals. However, obviously, I do recommend those books, and I think they are worth checking out, and that they do have some value in some way to everybody who reads them. You can find them in the description below. If they grab your interest, read them, thumbs up. If not, don't worry. So let's break this down into a couple different categories. First, we'll go with nonfiction books because I don't feel there are too many nonfiction books to really recommend for Jedi. Yes, there's books like the ones that I have put out that are part of our old Academy program. These are Jedi lessons that were written for Jedi Living back when it was known as Jedi Academy Online. These do provide lessons on living as a Jedi in everyday life. They do have worth in that field or in that study. However, they are forum posts. They are online academic lessons just put into book format and shipped out. The editing's bad, the writing's bad. If we're gonna recommend that, you can go that route. Other books out there, I don't really recommend any other Jedi books that are out there in the nonfiction world, just because usually you can get all the information available online for free. So I don't even recommend mine because of that. You want a good training program? Join Jedi Living. Go through our Academy program. It's there, it's free, it's right there for you. You can go to Temple the Jedi Order, join their training program, Temple the Jedi Force, Institute for Jedi Realist Studies. There's many places out there where you can dive into Jedi material for free. You don't have to pay for it. It's like groups that try to charge you membership dues. Forget about that nonsense. You can get it, and you can get quality training for free. Other nonfiction books we can talk about don't actually apply to the Jedi path, but can be great reads. If we're gonna go that far, the list becomes huge, and I really recommend anything that speaks to you. However, there are two very popular books in this regard, and that's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. Both books have a lot of good information in them that Jedi can take and apply to their life. Many Jedi have read these books and have found them to be core and to help them with their own path. Now, are they required reading? Do you need to read these books to be Jedi? No, of course not. But many Jedi have found them helpful, so I'm going to throw those two out there as books worthwhile. If you haven't read them or if they're not on your list, definitely add them. Next category that was mentioned was role-playing guides. Now, I like role-playing guides. I think they do a great job of exploring Jedi philosophy because they are designed specifically for that purpose. The reason I'm a fan is because they are meant to get you in the mindset of your character being a Jedi. So while there's a lot of fictional elements and a lot of powers for the game and things that just don't apply to everyday life, there is the mindset. How do you make decisions as a Jedi? Obviously, the answer to that can be very much applied into our everyday lives because those are questions we are often asking ourselves anyways. So I do recommend role-playing guides. However, role-playing guides do change over the year. Personally, I like Power of the Jedi Sourcebook by Wizards of the Coast. That was published back in 2002. Wizards of the Coast no longer owns the rights to the role-playing guides of Star Wars. That now falls to Fantasy Flight Games, and I have not read their new material. I have not read their new core book or their source books. They do have two of them though, for Guardians and for Consulars, so they might be worth checking out. I don't know yet. They are on my list to get. I'll get there eventually. I also enjoyed the Jedi Academy Training Manual. There it is. That was done in 2009. That also has a lot of great information on it. Again, that's Wizards of the Coast, and again, they don't hold the license to that, so that's all out of print. Moving on to fictional books. Now, fictional books are really hard to cover. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of books that don't even deal in Star Wars. There's a lot of legends, there's a lot of new books coming out, so it's really hard to nail that down. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one really short as well. I'm gonna go with The Jedi Path by Daniel Wallace, because that is a fun book, and almost every Jedi I've ever talked to has read that book and had fun with it and found something useful to take and apply to their everyday lives from the book. They very much enjoy the fictional exploration, but it also delves into philosophy, the Jedi Code, and things that they can apply to their everyday lives. I also highly recommend the Jedi Apprentice series by Jude Watson. Great series. Again, these books can be kind of hard to find. You can go through one of those books in a day. They don't take long to read. They are meant for younger readers, but they're so great and they're chocked full of Jedi philosophy and Jedi concepts that I highly recommend. Now, outside of that, what I really recommend is just reading. Read what appeals to you. Read what you find fascinating. Pick up something, try something new. Pick up a book, see if it vibes with you. If it doesn't, no problem, no harm caused. Reading in itself can often help you explore new ideas. It can help you build empathy with other characters. It allows you that moment to consider, what would you do in a situation? How does your thinking process work? How do you align with this character or don't? And this applies to fiction and nonfiction. If you're reading true crime, if you're reading historical biographies, these are still stories. These are very fascinating events that happen in life, and you can read and you can consider, how does this apply? How would I react? What was the emotional content within this situation? How do we apply Jedi philosophy in this kind of situation? There's a lot of things you can do with just reading. So I just recommend getting out there, finding some sort of book that you like and digging into it, whether it be Star Wars or true crime or philosophy books or religious books, new age, like whatever you enjoy doing. Just get out there, read. The exploration and the concept of thinking outside of yourself and understanding how different ideas apply to you or don't apply to you, it's all beneficial to the Jedi. So I highly recommend just reading. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for asking. We have another viewer question coming up, and maybe next week sometime. So stay tuned for that. You know where the buttons are. You can like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, leave a comment, ask a question, whatever makes you happy. May the Force be with you.